Hello.
Frequency by Penny Pierce. If you have been paying attention to the discussions over the last, 5 or 6 books we've discussed, a lot of the emphasis has been put on the concept of vibration, or feeling your way into materialization, or manifesting. We live in a world where everything is based on frequency. Wireless networks, how our body works, our brain, everything is frequency. If you can tap into how this stuff works and understand it to a certain level, it can give you an enormous advantage in being able to create the life that you want. Now, one of the things that has happened over the last, I'd say about 50 or maybe even 100 years, is that the entire frequency of the planet is rising. And as a result of it, creations, manifestations, and certain kinds of breakthroughs in thoughts and technology have been emerging. Now, this is one way of looking at reality, especially if you're looking at reality from the perspective of creating something that you desire. And the way I adopt or look at frequency or vibration is I have a vision and something that I want to create, and that thing that I'm looking to create or that experience that I'm looking to have exists in a frequency. So we have millions and millions of different frequencies, and what we tune ourselves into within ourselves is going to allow us to experience, or what I'm going to say, materialize that what we desire is going to be a net result of our ability to align with that frequency. So think about your own personal experiences here as we get into discussion. Think about a time in your life where you felt negative. Maybe you felt fearful, angry, resentful. And as a result of that, you started to notice more fearful, angry, resentful, or negative people, environment, and circumstance materialize in your reality. Now think about a time in your life where you felt very positive, uplifted. In fact, think about a time when you were in a peak state when it comes to flow. And notice how during that time, you were around or you experienced certain kinds of people, environment, circumstance that was a net result of that same feeling. Now, we go through life fluctuating in our frequency or our vibration. But the truth is this: the kind of frequency or the vibration that we have is going to determine the kind of reality that we live in. Now, we talk about this a lot when we say success consciousness or abundance consciousness versus scarcity consciousness. Abundance consciousness is a consciousness that exists in a higher frequency, higher vibration. And the materialization of that is abundance for you, abundance for others that you serve, and abundance for divine or evolution. And the higher the frequency or the higher the vibration that you feel, the more it feels true, and you even come up with conceptual ideas to realize that it's true, that you can create something of value and put it out there and others can benefit from it, and it actually also contributes to evolution. Or some way, somehow, in the spirit of harmony, which by the way is win-win-win, win for you, win for the other person, win for divine, whatever it is that you desire materializes. So another way of looking at it is that in higher states of vibration, higher levels of vibration, your goals, your dreams, your desires materialize in a way that is the most harmonious with everyone. So let's get into discussion as we go deep into something that may be a newer concept that you have experienced, or you have a lot of experience with, and maybe you sense it, because vibrations is really something that you feel. But we're going to conceptualize it, dimensionalize it, so you can understand it better, so you'll be able to work with it to be able to create the results that you want. And before we get started, I want to mention one key anchor, and that's the discussions that I've been having on the Neville Goddard information. Neville Goddard talks about manifesting from the perspective of feeling the wish fulfilled. So the idea is that you have a desire, what it is that you're looking to create, and your goal is to visualize yourself achieving that desire. So let's say your goal is to make $120,000 a year, and right now maybe you're making $50,000 a year. Well, the goal is to visualize yourself actually receiving a paycheck for maybe $120,000 or whatever it is broken down per month, or $12,000 a month, from somebody that maybe that person says to you, here's a paycheck for the great service that you provide, and actually feel yourself receiving that paycheck, that wish fulfilled, and letting that go, actually just dropping it out of your awareness, and then realizing that whatever thought you have from that feeling is going to materialize, and to just trust the process. Now, what you actually are experiencing when we talk about vibrations and frequency is in that moment where you visualize and emotionalize yourself achieving that outcome, which is receiving that check and feeling the gratitude and joy, you are actually touching in that vibration. And then what's happened is you're orienting yourself to living in that vibration, some way, somehow, without overthinking it, because Neville makes the process very simple. You find yourself navigating reality and then fusing yourself to that vibration in which that outcome materializes. So based on that, we're going to have discussions here, and we're going to talk about it from multiple perspectives: problem solving, relationships, as we get into the later stages. And I'm going to call this materializing and dematerializing, and she talks about it in the book. And I recommend going into the book because I'm just scratching the surface with what was discussed in there, because the book really gets into a lot of details. So what is actually happening then? You have this idea and this vision of what it is that you want to create. You assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you visualize it, and then you drop it out of your awareness, knowing with absolute faith it will materialize. In other words, you will go into that vibration, and then you will experience that outcome some way, somehow. And you don't think about how, because one of the things that we talk about as we get later into this discussion is that if you think about the how, you get two in your head, and you might even end up in different vibrations that are not in the vibration and in alignment with the materialization of that goal that you want. So again, to summarize this, you have a goal, a vision. You feel yourself achieving that vision, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You let it go and trust that you'll end up in that vibration. You'll navigate reality, and your intuition will guide you towards that vibration. You will find that vibration and you will stay in it, and then whatever it is will materialize. Okay, the world is a reflection of within. Your vibration, how you feel, is literally materializing the world. Now, this can be a very far out concept. That's why this is understood during a transformation as your overall personal frequency goes up. So we'll talk about this in a moment. We're all evolving into heightened sensitivity. We are born sensitive and empathic, but through lack of validation and training, the ability often shuts down or is placed on a shelf labeled for use at a later date. So it is my belief that we come from a perfect source. A lot of spiritual stuff, they talk about this. You come from a perfect place. And that what you did was you manifested here on this planet to learn how to have gratitude for where you came from. So you're experiencing contrast. And another thing that you experience is how to create. So you essentially learn how to create in the image of the Creator. So we were created in the image of the Creator to learn how to create in the image of the Creator, because then once you learn these lessons, which is contained within this video and what Neville Goddard talks about, then you live here in harmony, spirit of harmony. In other words, you manifest heaven on earth here, because I believe that divine is always looking to manifest here on this earth, and you're being a conduit for it. And then when your time over here is done and you've had all these experiences, you go back with a heightened sense of gratitude. So you are born sensitive to this ability. It's just what happens is that when we're born we have our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. The conscious mind isn't really developed yet, so we just kind of accept all the different ideas and belief systems and viewpoints from others of how reality works, and sometimes that can be disempowering information. And then we lose our ability to tap into our intuition and manifest based on the stuff that we're talking about here, which is just tuning in to the vibration and the frequency. And if this is not encouraged for an extended period of time, you can maybe go through an extended period of your life not realizing you have this potential, just kind of living your life based on how somebody else tells you should live. Or always looking for approval, validation from the external world, always looking to create based on what others are creating, but yet feeling very unfulfilled, like you're not really getting the most out of life. And then maybe you come across information like this, or a book like this, or Neville Goddard information, whatever, and it really starts to resonate with you. And then you start to put this stuff to use, and you actually start to materialize. You actually start to create things, manifest things, and then you begin to question everything you've ever learned in life, and then you move down this journey. And for me, it's been the journey since 2004, and I got deeper and deeper into this stuff. When for me at that time, all I really wanted to do was get out of $50,000 debt. So I used the information in Think and Grow Rich, which is very similar to this, because all the stuff pretty much says the same thing, just different ways, and targets different audiences when it comes to business and personal development and spiritual information, really at its core and its essence, because everyone is really materializing their vision and their dream through this different kinds of books and trainings that they go through. That's what they're looking to learn. And for me, as I kept going deeper and deeper into this, I started opening more and more layers of how this works. So maybe you have a very similar experience. So the goal is this then. We want to realize that overall everybody's becoming more sensitive. Remember I mentioned that the vibration is increasing overall. So more and more people are starting to realize, and they're starting to feel it even more, that they have this ability. And they're becoming sensitive to the vibes of others, environments, and circumstances. But the thing about that is they don't know what to do with it. Like what a lot of times they'll kind of fight it. They might end up in a situation where they're around a group of people and they don't feel comfortable there, but they're not able to conceptualize it or put it into words or explain it or logically explain it. They don't understand it, so they just kind of stay there, dishonoring themselves. So if you're experiencing this, then this is going to be of interest to you, because what I'm suggesting here is to honor that feeling. Okay, realize that it's actually telling you something about yourself, your soul. And when you start to honor it, a whole new world opens up where you can live the way you exactly want to live and materialize and manifest that what you truly desire, which is your soul's desire. That energetic information then surfaces in me as though I am them, and all at once I know a complex pattern that includes their earthly desires, soul intentions, permissions, blockages, life lessons, talents, and how it's likely to feel when they attain their potential. So what she's talking about here is that when you're elevating yourself by working with the vibration, you're actually able to connect with others really well and understand where they're coming from. Because the goal over here is to be able to materialize and first understand that it is possible, and you'll see it more and more in the spirit of harmony. So where it's win for you, win for the other person, and win for divine. There is a possibility, and it's totally true, and you'll understand it at higher levels of vibration, that everybody can live in abundance. Everyone can materialize. And if your home frequency or if your vibration is very low, it's hard to see that. And that's why those that are at a low vibration or choose to identify it will tend to manifest very scarcity-based behaviors to try to get what they want by taking away from others, because in all fairness, they don't understand it. Because the truth is this: different thoughts, feelings, and materializations and different information is only accessible in different vibrations. So if you're in a lower vibration, and that's a home vibration, you don't have access to the understanding that you can materialize and have what you want in the spirit of harmony. So this is part of the journey. We have to realize that at any point, no matter what vibration that you're at, there's like a little bit of hunch and inspiration or something you'll always experience, no matter what, that there is a greater possibility. And that's why I really like the book Man's Search for Meaning, because even in the concentration camps, he was able to find this possibility that exists. So the universe is set up in a very perfect way that no matter where we are in life, there is somewhere, no matter what the circumstances, a possibility to raise our vibration up. And as we raise our vibration up, we figure out how to solve the problem. So she says, I know it through my body sensations and feelings. The challenge then is to articulate the body of information in a logical, sequential way that makes sense to the other person. I've experienced many times at these deeper levels, it is impossible for us to truly be separate from others. So this is another thing that you will discover is you'll feel a more connectedness to people. Now, Napoleon Hill talks about this in Think and Grow Rich, and as I keep studying the book, I start to pay more attention to that information, is that everybody is connected through the subconscious mind. So the way I believe it to work is, we all, and you've heard me mention this many times, we all have our conscious mind or subconscious mind, and we have a connection to infinite intelligence, which is the source of all knowledge and wisdom and understanding, source of all information. So what happens is as we start to clear our subconscious mind from negative programming, our vibration goes up and we're able to then connect to the subconscious mind of other people, because they won't allow us into their subconscious mind unless our vibration is clear, unless our intent is pure, and if it's our best interest for them. Now think about this for a moment. Very pragmatically speaking, notice that if you've been in different stages in your life, and maybe some stage in your life you might have been kind of dark and negative, if you have, or in some stages of your life you were very positive, like really positive and embracing. Notice how people will gravitate towards you and be more trustworthy to you when you're more in a positive and uplifting state, and they'll kind of avoid you. And they won't even be able to articulate it with words. They'll just kind of like distance themselves away from you if you've got kind of a negative, dark energy. It's like they can read your thoughts and feelings and your intent. So this is what I mean by that. Now, when she's saying the challenge is then to be able to articulate it, this is why I put together this content, because one of my goals in life is to be able to articulate this very kind of esoteric concepts. Now, this is the beautiful thing about vibration going up, is more and more people are being able to articulate this information in different ways, in a way that makes conceptual sense. Because the truth is, we live in 4 realms of existence: spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional. And if one of those realms of existence doesn't understand the stuff, there can be kind of a disconnect. Okay, somebody has to feel it, that's what the vibration is, and then conceptually being able to put it in words or charts or certain kinds of processes and explain it. And that's why, when you study like Neville Goddard stuff, if you haven't had a certain level of experience, or you're not at a certain level of understanding, which is based on a certain level of vibration, then his stuff can seem very far out. But then what happens is if you continue working on your vibration, you keep raising it up, that stuff will make even more sense to you. And that's why a book like Think and Grow Rich, as your vibration goes up, it starts to reveal more and more. And so will this book. So let's talk about personal vibration. Okay, so what happens is we all have a collective, or we have a personal vibration, and then there's a collective vibration, and every environment or circumstances have different kinds of vibration. Physical things have different vibrations and so forth. Rather than making it so complex, let's look at it this way. You create your reality. All is mind. In the Kabbalion, we say all is mind. So you have the power to create reality the way you want by adjusting your own personal vibration. So regardless of circumstance or the external's vibration, if you tune your own vibration to be that which is in alignment with your vision, or that of abundance or well-being, even if you don't understand how to, and I promise you will with practice, how to tune yourself up to a certain vibration in which something exists, you can start by just feeling better about yourself, letting go of shame, letting go of guilt, anger, anything that holds you back. And then you'll start to notice that you'll materialize more positive things in your life. So that's how you know that your personal vibration has gone up. And you'll also know that you'll be able to materialize and manifest things faster. Because I have this belief that, and I've been testing this many times and I found this to be true, is that the purer your thoughts, the cleaner that you are, and the more you are in the spirit of harmony, the more you get access to certain kinds of knowledge and information on how to materialize, and the more it makes sense to you. So what you have to do then is elevate your own personal vibration. Your personal vibration is the overall vibration that radiates from you at every or any given moment. Okay, right now you're putting out a vibration. And that vibration that you're putting out has materialized the world that you live in right now. So take a look at the world that you're living in right now and the different circumstances. That is a net result of the vibration that you keep yourself in. So if there's very similar people, circumstances, and environments, that's a net result of the vibration. Now, if you change your vibration, especially if you change it drastically, the environment might change radically, or the people might change radically, or that they might leave your life, or new people might come in, or something like that. Circumstance will change, but that's all based on your vibration. The vibration of one aspect of your makeup affects the vibration of other aspects. So if you are in a elevated vibration or a higher vibration, which you are experiencing positive thoughts, what you'll notice is that you will start to attract different kinds of thoughts and even circumstances that are related to that vibration. So, for example, right now I'm looking at my phone and a sale just came in for one of my online training programs. And this is something that happens to me very frequently. When my vibration goes up, and I feel my vibration going up as I explain this so I can articulate it better, I go into something that is in alignment with my vision. So this is exactly a practical example of what I was talking about earlier. And then what begins to happen is the external world begins to materialize accordingly. Obviously, somebody bought it and so forth, and we don't know how it all plays out, and we don't even have to think about it. But the bottom line is this. The external world is a reflection of your inner world, which is your vibration. So as you go into a certain vibration and you stay in that vibration, you will attract the different things, people, circumstances, environments, manifestations that are related to that vibration. And as you have a thought or a feeling, it attracts other thoughts, feelings, people, circumstances. As mentioned, the subconscious minds are all connected based on that vibration. It's based on that vibration. Your personal vibration is affected by vibrations in the world and in other people. So in earlier stages of your journey, as you discover this, you also have not acquired the skills, and you can go through the various exercises that were in the book and so forth to be able to protect your vibration, to be able to guard your subconscious mind, and to be able to honor that self, which, by the way, is a net result of evolving, I believe, your self-image and your self-confidence. So what happens is, let's say you raise up your vibration and you feel very positive and you're putting out really good vibration. You're starting to attract all these different circumstances and scenarios and people into your life, and you feel really good. But for some reason, you still haven't done a lot of work on your self-confidence or self-esteem, your deep self-image. What will then happen is something might trigger that. Like you might experience a conversation that somebody has, and then you might judge them based on what they're saying. And you might say, oh, they're at a low vibration, they're negative. But you fail to realize that by judging them, what you're actually doing is you're going into that vibration. And then all of a sudden, you start to feel weird sensation, and you no longer find yourself in that flow. Now, that's a manifestation of the self-image, because the self-image essentially is saying, oh, it's from a low self-esteem or low confidence self-image that essentially says, I am at this level and I'm greater than, and these other people are not greater than. In a high degree of self-esteem, you accept others, you actually include others, you understand others, and you are aware of what they're saying, but you don't judge them based on it. So that's what I mean by other people's vibrations and circumstances and so forth based on self-image impact your vibration. That's why I believe it's important to raise your self-esteem and your self-confidence. And here's one of the things that I found is that as you work on feeling better and raising your own vibration, you will automatically attract the people, circumstances, environments, and information teaching you how to evolve your self-image, because that information exists in the higher vibrations. Your personal vibration is generated from inside you by your own choices. So this is where we're going to get really deep now. Those people that we're talking about, circumstance, everything is a materialization of how you think and feel inside. It always was. It's just that now you're more conscious. Remember I mentioned earlier, this is what we came into this world to learn. So that being said, as much as it seems that it's because of them or because of this and because of something external, it is really based on how you believe reality to work, and the materialization of how you believe reality to work is reflected. So even the rigidity of grip that it is about the other person is also based on certain kinds of thought processes and feelings that you have inside. Now, you learn this because, let's say it was a negative thought. As a soul, as the depth of who you are a good person. Earl Nightingale said this over and over again or I would listen to it over and over again, in The Strangest Secret. He said, people are basically good. So people are basically good, and we just learn all these negative things, and because we don't know better, we just reenact it or recreate it based on subconscious programming and so forth. We materialize different things, including the need and desire, which is coming from a low self-esteem, to put someone else down to make ourselves feel better. However, that's all coming from within. So what happens then is as you let go of it and you begin to accept, and that's why it's so important to study the work from David Hawkins, because I think this will go really hand in hand with your study of this book, is you'll actually begin to materialize people that are very understanding, compassionate, and empathetic and accepting of you and others. You'll find that people accept you. Now, if you're judging others, what you'll notice is that people judge you. If you materialize people that you feel judgmental towards, you'll also notice that people will be judgmental to you. The outer world's a reflection of your inner world. Now, this is great because this ties into the discussion that we did on the Kabbalion. That's why I really like that book. Because law of correspondence, okay? Inner world, outer world. So all is mind, you're creating everything, and the outer world's a reflection within you. And what's within you, your programming and feeling, a lot of times comes from past situations. If it's undesirable, negative situations, because it's not your core of who you are. Positive situations, fine. It's uplifting you and allowing you to create the life that you want. And this is where the fun comes in, because what you have to do is, if you materialize negativity in the external world, realize that it comes from you and your vibration within, and do the work on yourself within to adjust your vibration. Number 5, your personal vibration improves dramatically the more you allow your soul to take charge of your life. So I'm a big fan of vision boards because I believe that, for me, whenever I put together a vision board, I materialize exactly what is on my vision board. And this has been the case since 2004. And that's because a vision board is really personal. It's, I believe, your soul's desire to give you what you want to materialize so that you can visually see it, so you can feel good about it, so then you can adjust to that vibration, go into that vibration and materialize it, not just for the joy and happiness from the materialization, but the journey of learning that happens. Okay, that comes from the soul. So it's then important to really ask yourself, and I promise it'll get easier when you start to remove limited thinking, doubts, fears, and negative opinions and so forth about yourself and others that you had learned on your journey here, and you begin to connect with your soul and ask your soul what you truly desire. And always remember this: what you truly desire is yours. Nobody can take it away from you, no matter what. It is truly yours. So when you connect to your soul, and it's your soul's desire, I'm not talking about a surface level desire. Although surface level desires will materialize, because you can adjust yourself to any frequency or vibration you want and it will materialize. But what we're really interested in is, this is like a long personal development, really deep personal development journey. At least that's how I see life. So what happens then is you connect to your soul's desires and you ask your soul's desire what you want. And then you start to come up with ideas and inspirations, and they might be fearful and you might doubt them a lot, because the doubt or fear that you faced or you experience while you are imagining yourself potentially achieving this, the doubts that come up, whatever it is, you don't feel you're worthy and so forth, are just based on thoughts and programming that you have acquired that is not part of who you are. And it's essentially keeping you at a certain vibration. It's not the vibration of the materialization of that wish. So then you go to work on yourself and you do the different things that we talk about on this channel to release fears, doubts, indecision, to focus on your vision, to honor yourself, work on your self-image until your vision is materialized. So what I'm encouraging here, and what's encouraged in this book, is to heighten the sensitivity you have to the vibrations. Okay, heighten the sensitivity. One of the things that I've noticed is that I've met individuals who have cultivated a heightened degree of sensitivity to vibration, either consciously or subconsciously, but they dishonor it by numbing the senses through like drugs or alcohol or some kind of behavior that really numbs them. And I think the reason why they do this is because if they honor those sensations, they would have to change their reality around. They would actually have to honor their soul's desire. And what I believe is that there's some programming that is within them that creates a great sense of anxiety and fear. Like by honoring those feelings, their entire life will change, but they want to stay in their comfort zone. That's why I recommend watching that video I did on the terror barrier by Bob Proctor. This stuff goes really deep. And so we want to encourage the sensitivity to vibration. We want to honor the feelings. And I promise that, it gets easier with practice, because I've been on this journey for such a long period of time, and I'm still learning to continuously honor the sensations. And the more I honor the sensations, the more I honor the feelings, the more I'm able to navigate reality. And a good book to help you with this is Reality Transurfing. I did a discussion on that. So here are the benefits, and you can see the benefits far outweigh everything else and will allow you to materialize your dreams, your soul's desire. Your intuitive ability and clarity is high, and you make good decisions. Make good decisions. So one of the things that Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich is we have to eliminate fears, doubts, and indecision. Well, guess what? When you're sensitive to your vibrations and you can feel the vibrations and you tune into your intuition, you make better decisions, easier decisions. It's easy to make the decision. In fact, I found that when you can't make the decision, it's because you are in a vibration that is dishonoring yourself. Your creative and innovative abilities are high. You can easily materialize what you need and use what you're given. Okay? Easily materialize what you need and use what you are given. You value everything in the world, spirit of harmony. It doesn't just apply to people, but also applies to circumstance and environment. Everything is resources for you to be able to materialize your dreams. All information is self-awareness information. One of my favorite exercises is to take inventory of myself as I navigate reality and see what comes up. Is there any disempowering thoughts? Am I attracting disempowering scenarios or negative scenarios? What is that telling me about myself? And as I continue to evolve myself, those circumstances, environments dematerialize. They just go away. They're just not there anymore because the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So everything helps you achieve your destination, your goal. You cooperate easily and draw the best out of others. You have deep insight into others' motivations and sources of pain and what they need in order to grow and heal. You can offer people the help, advice, or understanding they need. So one of the great desires that we have as humans is to help others. But in order to help others, we have to help ourselves first. Because when we help ourselves, we evolve into higher vibrations. And when we have the higher vibrations, or when we're in the higher vibrations, we have a greater sensitivity towards others, a greater ability to understand others. And as a result of it, subconsciously, we manifest the right ideas, the thoughts, the words to be able to help them. If you don't do the work of yourself and you try to help people, it might come from a place of deep down wanting approval and validation, wanting to feel important, which is not a sign of high self-esteem, which is not from a place of high vibration. High vibration, the desire to help people comes from a place of unconditional love. People will reciprocate to you. People will receive you really well and treat you really well, and they'll be very grateful for the help you give them. But it doesn't come from a place of strings attached or neediness. Your capacity to feel into the inner dynamics of anything brings data and insight that gives you an advantage in achieving happiness and success in your relationships, personal life, and business. You will be able to understand things that other people won't. You'll notice this. And because you trust yourself, you will understand what is going on and you will honor it and you will make the decisions. What you'll find is that when you honor it and you make the decisions, everything goes smoothly. But if you have to explain yourself and whatnot and try to convince and persuade someone, you drop out of that vibration and you don't materialize what it is that you're moving towards. So honor the deep insight and data that you get as your vibration increases. Because a lot of times you're going to have far more insight and data that is not even available as far as information in books and videos and so forth. It'll be your own unique perspective. Remember, we're getting this information from high vibrations, infinite intelligence. So you have to trust that the information that exists in the world when it comes to books, seminars, trainings, whatever information we've documented is very tiny compared to the grand scheme of information that's available. Because if all the information was available, then we would have the cure for everything. We would also have the greatest, highest level of technology. And by the way, technology never ends. It keeps advancing. We would have all kinds of breakthroughs and so forth. Now, this stuff's happening faster because more and more people are trusting what is within, and they're getting access to this. Now, this is where we talk about like synthetic imagination versus creative imagination. I did a whole video on it. Rather than talk about it here, I recommend you watch it. Synthetic imagination essentially is taking the information that already exists and connecting it together to create something, whereas creative imagination is maybe combining some of that information that already exists, but going into infinite intelligence, which is a net result of rising up your vibration to be able to connect with infinite intelligence and working with that information plus the synthetic information to create breakthroughs that exist in the world. You can dissolve feelings of separation and isolation and understand how connected and mutually sourced everything in life really is. So when you feel lonely, you are actually not at a vibration where you understand what I'm going to say next. That you're never alone, ever. We're all connected. All is one. All is mind. And you have to feel this. In earlier stages, it'll be like, well, Joseph's saying all is mind, like all is, we're all connected. I don't feel it. But as you continue to rise up your vibration, you get to a point where you feel it. And then when you feel it, then you experience unconditional love. That's what David Hawkins talks about. That's why that exists in the higher levels of consciousness. Because you see everyone is connected, you feel the connectivity, you never feel alone. And from that place, you connect with people from a place of contribution, sharing, rather than a place of taking, rather than a place of like, you do this for me, and if you don't return this, I'm going to be resentful for you or resentful towards you. It's more of like, we're all connected. What I put out comes back to me. Because that is one of the universal laws that we have access to all the time. It's just we realize it more and more and more. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. What you put out comes back to you. Now let's talk about your transformation. As you go through this journey of understanding frequency and vibration, here are some of the experiences that you will have. If you are fully understanding the emerging energy reality and its high frequency and unlimited perception, it helps to know that there's a good reason you may feel shaken up, ultra-sensitive, or rudderness. The reality of the intuition age will be the result of a gradual but fairly rapid process of personal and societal transformation. It can put you through the ringer emotionally and energetically, but it will eventually deliver you to an amazing destination you'll love. So perhaps you're experiencing this right now, heightened degree of sensitivity, and as a result of it, you feel shaken up, ultra sensitive. You find yourself not interested in some of the things you were interested in before. Maybe there's certain kinds of foods that you eat and so forth that used to bring you a great amount of joy, and now all of a sudden it's like when you eat it, you feel very bad or disgusted with yourself. Maybe you used to drink a lot of alcohol, but now you can maybe handle like a couple glasses of wine or something like that. You used to be able to go to certain kind of environments and enjoy it, and now you're like, you can see beyond the environment. You're like, oh, this is limiting me and holding me back and so forth. I want you to start honoring that. As the vibratory rate of your emotions and physical body increases, subconscious blocks, which are fear-based emotions of low frequency, can no longer remain stored and suppressed. Low frequencies cannot exist in a field of high frequency energy and awareness. So what happens then is, as your vibration goes up, more and more subconscious elements begin to surface, and you feel the urgency to release them. You actually have a desire to reprogram your subconscious mind, study the works of Joseph Murphy, psychocybernetics, and you realize that the outer world is a reflection of your inner world, and you have a conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and a lot of the external world is materialized based on your subconscious mind on autopilot. And so you begin to release certain kinds of disempowering, identify it, release disempowering subconscious blocks, and you start to level up your frequency, and then you'll start to notice you manifest things faster. If you allow the higher energy to flow through you and deal patiently and lovingly with situations that arise, you'll learn that you can't avoid polarities you don't like, but you must allow every opinion to be part of life. So this is where you get accepting of others and you understand others, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you agree with what they're doing, but you just realize there's a grand scheme of things going on and frequency is going up. And as a result, you do the best you can. You focus on elevating your own vibration, because as mentioned earlier, if you want to make a difference, that's why Gandhi said, be the change. He didn't get into lengthy discussion like this, but what he was really saying is, be the vibration that you want to see and it will materialize. You embrace the concept of mirroring, where what's in you is also in me in some way and vice versa. You learn to own both sides of any polarity, feel how they feed each other, and how you can receive energy and information from parts of yourself you've rejected. You gain awareness about your previously unconscious emotional triggers. So heightened degree of awareness happens as you allow yourself to go into higher vibrations. And again, this is why I mentioned earlier, some people might want to numb this when they realize this is happening, because this requires you to release certain kinds of things, even physical things in your life. People, circumstances, environments, physical. You have to learn to let go. And that can be very painful for a lot of people because they formed identities around physical possessions or certain kinds of relationships and so forth. But internally, they know that it's not for the greater good, so they have to release it. So rather than actually going through and letting go, they numb it through just kind of releasing their mind and submersing themselves in like TV, entertainment, drugs, alcohol, binge eating, negative thinking, or whatever. You're likely to experience sudden breakthroughs in all areas of your life, including healing insights about your wounds. Problems stemming from a difficult childhood can actually evaporate. Isolation can give a way of nurturing cooperation with others. And things that used to make you react harshly now no longer bother you. You see through the chaos and the others are caught in, that the others are caught in. You don't buy into the seductions and find your own way forward with greater clarity. So you start to realize that people get pulled into different directions by some kind of, enticingness, and then all of a sudden they end up in this place where it's a negative situation, an outcome, and so forth, and they didn't even realize that it was leading down this pathway, but you're able to see it. So you're able to stop for a moment and say, you know what? I see where this is going. I can see beyond the surface here, and I know where this is going. So I'm just not going to go there because I'm choosing to go in a path that is harmonious, that is full spectrum, all the way harmonious with the vibration, which is in alignment with what it is that I want to create, because it's my soul's desire and I feel good about it. As you learn to clear your fear-based past, many things you thought were important and ways you made life meaningful become useless, even boring, as you let them go. Relationships based on codependencies end. Old methods fail to produce results, old habits die, and old institutions become hamstrung and collapse. You'll notice more lies, disbelief, hollow stories, boring opportunities. Now, when you notice this kind of stuff, it's important not to judge it, because remember, we're talking about keeping the vibration here and elevating it. So when you start to see stuff like this, one of the things that happens in the personal development world that I see all the time, and it's part of the journey because this usually happens in the early stages. As soon as you learn one of these things, you go out there and you see somebody else not acting this way, and you start to judge them. You say, I know better, they don't. If only they knew better. See, what you're really doing is you're dropping into that vibration, so you're not really helping yourself. Accept that people are on this journey. We're all on this journey together. We're all working together to raise our own vibration. And even if they're not conscious and they don't understand, you don't necessarily have to buy into their reality or so forth. You can just observe and actually look at it as validating proof of how the vibration creates reality. You may feel disgusted, your pet ideas, beliefs, and worldview won't hold water. You're sick of hearing yourself recite the litany of your own history and feel limited by it. If you allow the dissolution of the things you don't need, you find that external rules aren't so necessary, that you're being directed from inside yourself. You see that you're living by inherent universal principles of natural harmony and order. You experience being guided effortlessly by your own highest wisdom. The failure of old structures is a natural way that life is preparing you for your new self. In the relative stillness, you may feel that your priorities, belief systems, and molecules are being rearranged, that you're being rewired. So this is something that I notice very often. When I continue doing this work on myself and I elevate my vibration really high into higher states of consciousness, of abundance, it's like I sleep more and I can actually feel myself my body needing to recharge more. And then when I wake up, I'm way more energized. That's one of the things that you might experience. You recognize that last remnants of what's untrue about your life and determined to disengage from participating inauthentically in the world. It may be obvious that you don't fit well with the rest of society and you must resist the pressure from others to revert to familiar habits. As you see others who haven't made the shift yet, you don't fear them as powerful wet blankets who can bring you down. We talked about this earlier. Instead, you take the role of a teacher, healer, or mentor and use your higher frequency for the greater good. You are hopeful, enthusiastic, optimistic, faithful, and inspired. Innovation abounds. You're motivated to recognize your destiny, engage with life, or engage with it fully. So these are the kind of things that will occur potentially as you are evolving your vibration, as you go through this journey. Because the goal is this. You want to go into the vibration and start with something small and build upon it have a goal, have a vision, go into the vibration, materialize it, understand this process, reflect back on this book and this video, and repeat this over and over again. And what you're going to find is that you're going to embrace higher and higher vibrations, and your life is going to transform more and more and more. Eventually, you're going to get to a point, and I'll speak from experience in this, is that your entire life is going to be so radically different and altered compared to how you used to live. Completely. It's going to seem like you stepped into a whole new world. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. This is where self-confidence and self-esteem and faith in yourself really will take you to the next level. Because when you look back at your life and you see, wow, what a radical difference. You have two choices. You could either stay there or go even higher. And this is where you're going to go leaps and bounds over everybody else. But you're going to have faith in the process that got you here to go there. So that means that as you continue to see the contrast of how everyone's living, you're going to accept it even more, while you're going to be living in a pretty magical and abundance-filled world, materializing exactly what you want, and keep going, going, going. And then when you have conversations with everyone else who's not experiencing this, they're going to say things to you that is not going to make any sense from your vibration, but you're going to understand them. Remember, you're not judging them, because what they say and how they feel is materializing their world. But you're going to see such a contrast. Let's talk about healthy feeling habits, because in order to raise your vibration and continuously raise your vibration, you have to honor the vibration that is a higher vibration. So when you start to feel good, honor that feeling good by putting in some good habits in place to honor that feeling, to materialize what's in that vibration so you can see this, and then raise up to a higher level of feeling, feel even better. And that's why I really like the concept of flow, because flow allows you to level up in feeling. And as you experience a higher degree of feeling, that now becomes the home-based flow. Okay, so there's like peak flows and like a baseline flow. One day, your peak flow will be your baseline flow. That's when you feel really good. So these are some of the things that will help you stay in that feeling. Allow yourself to feel, think, and act without self-judgment or self-sacrifice, in accordance with a natural inner sense of ethics and harmony. Okay, learn to trust yourself. Allow others to think, feel, and act as they do without needing to sacrifice their authenticity for you. So one of the things you can do in this scenario is, if your friends or anybody around is not being authentic around you, is you could have a conversation with them about it. Say, look, I accept you for who you are. So, you can just be you. And again, don't do it from a judgmental place. And I'm just paraphrasing here, but the main thing is to allow somebody else's authenticity to be expressed. Okay, rather than if they say this, then I'm going to judge them, allow their authenticity to express. Now, if it's not in alignment with yours, if their reality is not, if they come out authentically and it's not in alignment with yours, you're going to automatically end up in a scenario circumstance that is, you're going to honor your own vibration, you're going to honor their vibration, that you're going to connect with somebody that is in that same authenticity of wanting to co-create the same experience with you. So rather than having a relationship where someone is not being authentic and they're trying to pretend to be someone they're not just to please you, and you kind of want that to be the case, and as a result of it, you're not going to go to higher vibrations, and you're forcing the whole scenario to play out in a way that usually ends up in a negative outcome. I would say always ends up in a negative outcome. What you say is, I trust that my soul's desire will manifest, and I want this person to be authentic. They're going to be authentic. We are going to potentially realize that we're not a match. We're going to let it go, and I'm going to attract the person that is going to be a harmonious match. Now that takes, again, a lot of confidence and faith, but that's worth cultivating. Watch the video I did on the self-confidence formula by Napoleon Hill. I'll put a link in the description. You consciously notice the frequencies of other people's places and situations, and don't change yourself to match them, especially if they are lower than yours. Okay, accept, understand, but don't lower yourself into a frequency that you don't desire to be with to please somebody or to try to fit in, because then you're dishonoring yourself. And what's going to happen is afterwards you're going to have shame and guilt surrounding that. And because you drop into a lower frequency that is of that shame and guilt, you're going to come up with ideas and stories of the shame and guilt being true and so forth, but it's actually not, because you just dropped into that vibration. Now you're seeing reality from that perspective of that vibration. But if you don't identify with that vibration in the sense that you okay, they're doing their thing. I'm going to honor myself and not be here, or I'm going to do my own thing. Then what's going to happen is you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. Your self-confidence, your self-esteem is going to go up, and you're going to be more in alignment with that which you want to materialize. You merge with other frequencies in places, people, or situations intentionally to activate new knowledge and ideas, and come back to yourself and determine how or if you want to implement the information. So this is where connecting, so everything exists on different frequencies. I'm probably going to make a lot more videos on vibration and frequencies because I'm really fascinated, and I've been drawing a lot of charts that I want to share with you guys. So this is really fascinating because what happens is everybody's in different frequencies. There's like millions of frequencies, and you actually fluctuate. You're not like in this one frequency the entire day. Well, maybe some, if you're an enlightened being, you might be in this one level of consciousness or whatnot. But I can speak from experience, I'm not. I'm predominantly in a certain frequency. But as I go through the day, I might connect with somebody who's not in that frequency. And one of the things that I'll realize is that I'm able to kind of just understand them without going into their frequency. And then I'll get knowledge and ideas from them to even propel me further, give me insights without judging them. And then after that coming back, I reflect upon it and I'll say, oh, this is how they created their reality. So in a way, I'm kind of, going into a certain level of frequency, or they're going to my frequency, or something is happening. I mean, this is some complex stuff. But what I'm doing is I'm gathering information to help me maintain the kind of frequency that I want to be with, accepting them and even thanking them, which then, as a result of that, elevates your own frequency because it's a form of unconditional love. So in other words, you're seeing everybody as helpful to you. Keep your awareness open and in the present moment, receptive to subtle signals that come from your body. So self-awareness is one of the most important things that you can have when it comes to maintaining your vibration. If you end up in a scenario or circumstance or an environment where the potentiality is that your vibration can change based on whatever the people in there and so forth, you have to become extra present and aware to notice certain signs in your body and certain kinds of feelings that you have, because if you don't honor those feelings, you might end up in that frequency. So think about this for a moment. Now, everybody's in different home frequencies and whatnot, and there are positive elements in a person's subconscious mind and negative elements in a person's subconscious mind. There's potentially positive and negative elements in your subconscious mind, or maybe you got all positive elements, but whatever it is, there's like a mix and match between yours and theirs. What's materializing is the positive elements and the potentiality of the negative elements materializing, co-creating together. What you want is to keep elevating your frequency and your vibration. So if you end up in an environment, what you don't want is one of the negative elements to materialize and co-create this experience, which will then drop the vibration. So you have to be aware when you're around that person to see if there's any kind of indicator of an element of negativity coming out in them to play that theater with you in that negative negative element that might exist in you. And actually, the truth is this: nothing can play out unless it exists in you. But we are evolving and we are elevating ourselves, so we have to be understanding that maybe negative elements could play out, but we have to be aware so it doesn't play out and this negative scenario happens. So what we do then is we become sensitive to see if it's going to play out, and we have the self-conscious and awareness to maybe step out of that or not have it play out. Okay, pause for a moment, reflect, whatever it is, before it turns into a negative outcome. Now, here's the thing about this. Again, if it happens, you're not to judge the other person and say, okay, this person's got this negativity in them. It's because then you'll bring it out. It's awareness and feeling that this could potentially happen. So we're talking about habits of cultivating here. So as a result of cultivating this, I find myself being able to go in environments where there might even be some negativity or whatnot, and I'm able to maintain my vibration because I can see if something is going to play out based on something that is within me. You would draw inside yourself, not to escape feeling something, but to see what feels right for you in each situation, and to find your own ideas. You feel the insights and messages in various feelings, seeing every sensation and perception as useful. You trust and enjoy yourself, so there's no need to impress others. The resulting ease facilitates increased clarity. You trust you'll know what you need to know just when you need to know it. You share energy and awareness easily with others. You allow yourself to experience the full range of sensations, from the most contracted to the most expanded, knowing that this is what life is all about. Every contractions usually contain useful information and energy. You know that life and the mind naturally oscillate, so you allow yourself and others to have polarities and change often while penetrating to the core to find stability. You know your experience is up to you and the choices you make. You know that by adjusting the frequencies you run in your body, emotions, and thoughts, you can change your reality and create or dissolve the stuff of your life. Okay? Dematerialize and materialize based on your thoughts and your feelings, which puts you into a vibration where that stuff exists. You're excited about having a live connection with the world, because now that you understand how this stuff works, you're navigating reality with ease because you have a greater degree of understanding of how to change stuff around. So you're operating with more confidence. You have less fear, less indecision and doubt, because you realize that it's all within you and you're materializing it, so you just adjust yourself within. So you're excited about having a live connection with the world, and you engage fully with discovery and creativity. You accept that you and the world are made of many dimensions and frequencies of awareness, and that you have access to all of them. So let's talk about materializing and dematerializing. So a lot of background here when it comes to materializing, dematerializing. Let's get a little deeper into this. So here's how you do it, okay? So essentially, you go through life wanting to create that what you desire, your vision board, your affirmation, whatever it is. And you want to materialize that. The materialization will happen in the frequency, in the vibration. In that vibration exists that goal. When you stay in that frequency, in that vibration, it will materialize. Okay, this is what Neville Goddard was saying, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So when you're in that feeling, you orient yourself to it. It's like a compass. And then eventually it comes to pass. It materializes. It materializes in that vibration. You find yourself in that vibration. Number one, take stock of what you have, appreciate and use it. This is what you already created. So you're going to a destination, and here you are right now. Everything is revealing to you about yourself and is helping you move towards the destination. Number two, clear unhealthy feeling habits and negative thinking and dissolve any existing forms that are in the way of your new expansion. So as you look about the reality that you have right now in front of you, if there's negativity, or as you go about your day tomorrow, whatever it is, if there's negativity, understand you can dissolve it through your vibration. If you notice that negative aspect and you begin to put attention and awareness on it and feed it energy, notice if your vibration changes. If it starts to get negative or drops, release it. Most likely it will, because you're putting attention and awareness on it. Now, that's not a form of being ignorant. Knowing that it's there and adjusting your vibration so it dematerializes is the way to resolve it. Some way, somehow, it will materialize in a way of resolution. So it can happen like this. Say you have a conflict with somebody, and you show up and every time there's this conflict with them. Now, because you honor that feeling, that vibration, you notice that the conflict is about, you feel the sensations in your body, the conflict is about to happen many steps prior. You continue to honor that positive vibration, that positive feeling, which is in alignment with that which you want to create. You'll all of a sudden materialize a solution. You'll notice that that person will come up to you and apologize. Something interesting will happen that will be so outside of what you thought possible, because you're not focusing on thinking your way or identifying with it, but rather on the vibration. And if that person wants to evolve the connection with you, it will happen. It will happen based on how you feel. The outer world is a reflection of who you are. So how you feel is being projected outwards and materializing into form. Collect your energy, recenter in your soul's love, attune to your home frequency, and check to see what your highest vision looks and feels like. Remember, orienting ourselves to the vision. You want to feel the contrast? Feel where you are right now, feel your vision, realize you're moving towards your vision, and make the decisions accordingly based on what we've discussed. Notice the idea, pay attention, imagine it, and feel into it. Number 5, optimize your personal vibration, connect your personal field with the unified field. Number 6, include all beings in your materialization process. So do it in a spirit of harmony. So this is something where if a person doesn't realize this, they're going to create more friction in the materialization of that what they desire. We're working with higher vibrations here, higher frequencies, and higher truths. In lower vibration, it's probably something like, I'm going to get what I want, and I don't care about everybody else. They can, all go to whatever. Or I'm going to get it by taking away from this person. That's not the kind of materialization and manifesting that happens in the higher frequencies and higher vibrations. What happens even faster, more harmoniously, if you trust the process and work with it. So the way that works is first saying, I'm not going to do anything unless it's in the spirit of harmony. Win for me, win for them, win for divine. And I'm going to trust that I'm going to figure out a way. And then what happens is you begin to include everyone. So when you're not at a high vibration, it's hard to conceptualize or hard to believe that you can include everyone. Especially if you had materialized all this proof that you can't include people because there's always separation and this and that. That's all based on a materialization on a vibration if you're experiencing that. When you change your vibration, you'll start to notice that including others and everyone and whatever, all beings, is possible. Number 7, keep paying attention to the materializing idea. So as you go through this journey, you'll start to notice signs, circumstances, synchronicities, people, environments, circumstances that are in alignment. You'll start to feel it. You'll feel charged up. That is an indication of the materialization of your vision. Honor that, put attention on that, and you stay in that vibration. And it materializes even more so. So relationships is one of the things. Let's talk about that for a moment. So let's take this stuff and apply it to relationships and problem solving. 2 key areas. Well, I talk about relationships more in the context of business relationships and so forth in this channel, but this can also, and is universal, and applies to personal relationships. So now that we understand this stuff, here's some good questions to ask when reading people and relationships. Number 1, are they congruent with themselves? Is their presentation aligned with their fear or soul? Are they projecting a false front or relating to me with their ego? You want to take note of these things, because if you're honoring these behaviors here, then you might be dropping into that, or you will be dropping into that vibration that participates with that. So if you're dealing with someone like that, you've got to question yourself, why are you within yourself materializing this? Is it to teach you about yourself? Or is it a subconscious pattern that needs to change when you realize that you can have somebody that's congruent and relating to you because they want to be there, not from a place of ego, but a spirit of harmony, and that is yours, you will materialize it. So as you navigate relationships in different contexts, they're indicating what you are materializing from within, consciously and subconsciously. Am I reading the energy accurately? Do we have any matching blind spots? Am I reacting from a hidden agenda or responding from a neutral place? What do they bring out of me immediately? How does my body respond to them? Do I pick up sensory clues? Do they smell fishy, sour, or sound teeny, screechy, or hollow? What am I learning from this person? What am I drawing my attention in myself? The outer world is a reflection of our inner world. Are they trustworthy? Are they honest? Are they withholding or lying about something? Do they have a personal issue that will sabotage the relationship or the flow of a project? Again, we're not doing this to judge people. We're doing this to reveal about ourselves and what we're doing and what we're choosing to engage in, either because it exists within us and we do the same thing, or we have low self-esteem and we want to replay the same scenario again based on that self-esteem. If you have resolved yourself within and raised your self-confidence to a higher degree, self-esteem to a higher level, you're not going to judge the person. You're just going to say, I choose not to participate in that. I choose to participate in something else that's more in alignment with me. Because I have faith that everything materializes based on how I am within. So there's an abundance of people. So why would I choose less than? Do they have a need to control? And if so, what and how do they do it? Is this a beneficial relationship for me? Why? Is it time to update or change this relationship? Is it time to end this relationship? Problem solving. Number 1, reframe the problem so you can see it as helpful. So if you encounter a problem, whether it be in a relationship or whatever dealing in your life, understand that it's a materialization of the vibration. Now, if you see it as helpful and it's moving you forward, propelling you forward, your vibration goes up. or your vibration, which is already in that high frequency in flow, remains. Number two, your problem is really a question. The question helps you discover an experience your soul wants you to have. So what you're materializing is part of your journey. What have you materialized, and what is it revealing to you about yourself and what you need to do? Number three, solve the problem internally first in your imagination. Assume the wish fulfilled, have faith and confidence that it will solve, feel that it will happen, see it as true, honor that feeling, stay in the frequency and the vibration, and the problem will solve itself. Number four, once you have the internal experience the problem was pointing to, the external physical problems may resolve quickly. So this is not the case with everything, but deep introspection and self-realization helps you see how you are the cause of that. And the deeper you get into it, the more you're able to solve the problem. So if you try to maybe go into a certain frequency, which is positive, and you find the problem is not going away, you might find that you have to rise up to even higher frequencies. So what I found for different problems in my life is using the same process. As I identified the problem, I maintained the positive vibration. I found the problem still didn't go away. Then what I realized is that by going up to a higher level of vibration, I'm starting to find solutions to the problem. I'm starting to see the possibility of the problem going away. Then I go into an even higher vibration, and some way, somehow the problem goes away. It gets resolved in the spirit of harmony. Problems always indicate a turn of the wave and a new vibration that pertains to your destiny. If many problems occur at once, there's usually just one underlying theme. Again, everything is happening to reveal to you about yourself. As you go through this journey of leveling up your frequency and your vibration to materialize your soul's desire, what you might notice is that all these problems tend to happen all at once. And that might be connected to something really big within yourself. Perhaps it's something that is a self-esteem thing, or a deep anger and resentment and hatred that you have towards other people. All of these are indications of, the problems are indications or symptoms of something that's going on within, that's being manifested very persistently in multiple different angles and so forth, to bind you there into that frequency, which subconsciously, that is a negative part that exists within you that wants to stay in that frequency. Even very mundane problems contains your soul's guidance. So the way to look at this is, again, everything is revealing to you about yourself. You came from a perfect place. You materialized on this world. And throughout your journey, you incorporated empowering or disempowering beliefs. The disempowering beliefs, the negative opinions that you have about yourself and others in the world and so forth, stifle you and keep you where you are, which is not in a place of helping you materialize your soul's desire. So this journey of working with the vibrations allows you to see where you're at. You can feel where you're at, and your feelings tell you about what's within you. And you materialize the world. Everything is a reflection of what is within you. And as you go and evolve the resentments or whatever else you have within you into higher thought processes like acceptance, understanding, unconditional love, and real reason, and spirit of harmony and so forth, your vibration starts to go up higher and higher and higher. So everything is revealing to you where you are right now, and you have the ability to choose based on your vibration where you want to go next. So based on what you got right now, it's your soul's guidance saying, do you like where you are right now? Let's be real about this. If you don't like where you are right now, then what is it about this reality that you have created that is within you, that you can change, that is revealed to you by your vibration? And once you change it, your vibration changes and it goes into a frequency that is in alignment with what you want to create, and you begin to materialize accordingly. And then what do you see? So you speed up materialization. Let's talk about speeding it up. When you notice an idea and invest attention into it. So reality transurfing and the Kabbalion are very helpful Follow the processes that I outlined in those 2 videos to help you materialize things. So this is going to be very related because this is how I materialize things. We're going to use the concepts from this book, plus the Kabbalion, plus reality transurfing. What you put your attention on, that's where your energy goes. So you're manifesting different people, circumstances, environment based on your conscious and your subconscious in the world. Okay, the outer world's a projection of your inner world. And whatever it is that you manifest, where does your attention go? Does it go on the negative thing, the little negative thing that you manifested while failing to see all the positive that you invested? Because if you focus on that negative thing, you'll bring more about it. Changes your vibration to match it. So invest attention in the signs or the different steps that are leading towards the materialization of that what you desire. Number 2, your body experiences the ideas as real and normal. Now, when you put attention on that, what is materializing, or signs or different elements of your vision that are steps towards the materialization. So if it's a business you're trying to create, then the steps of the first sale or so forth, you put lots of joy and gratitude towards it. Then you start to actually believe and feel that this is real and normal, and then the materialization will speed up. You radiate a high home frequency. In other words, your vibration goes up and you'll feel it because you feel energized, charged, positive, enthusiastic, abundance, spirit of harmony, all beings are included, I love everyone, and so forth. And you begin to connect with that frequency that materializes the vision. Or you'll go into that exact vibration and frequency where that materialization occurs. You honor all other beings and particles that are co-creating with you. Again, spirit of harmony. Your personal vibration frequency matches with the item, people, situation, place, or experience you're seeking. And you trust the outcome will be perfect. You don't settle. Trust the outcome will be perfect. If it's a soul's desire, it will materialize in the spirit of harmony. And we're not talking about a perfection based on perfectionism, which is a manifestation of low self-esteem and self-confidence, and trying to control and force reality to be a certain way. We're talking about harmonious perfection, which is understood and felt when you are in a high vibration. You'll know exactly what it means to you, what perfect means to you. It's not about what others say is perfect, it's what perfect feels to you. Now, on the flip side, you can stall the materialization. You can end up taking steps back, which is really, by now, the realization is that it's based on the vibration. But your vibration, in other words, will change to that what is not in alignment with what you're materializing if you do any of these following. You see what you want as separate from you. In other words, you don't believe it's yours already and that it's in the process of materializing. Look at this world through your 5 senses right now. Just look at the entire world. This is a materialization of what is within you. It is not separate from you. The vision, that what is in your imagination, will one day be in front of you, materialized. And like what is materialized in front of you right now, that will be in front of you. The realization of what I just said and the deeper meditation upon what I just said right now will break you through higher levels of understanding of how this stuff works. Because what we're really doing is we're going into a certain frequency, vibration that, and we're not going to concern ourselves too much with the how and whatnot. It will materialize, some shape or form, it will materialize. You will be in alignment with that what you desire. It is not separate from you. It is connected with you. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world, and all is mind. You want out of fear, you worry. You want out of fear, you worry and doubt. So fears, doubts, and indecisions start to creep up within you about that what you desire. And whatever it is that you got to do, the steps moving in the direction, or whatever, you start to drop in the vibration of the fear, the doubt, and the indecision. And then you start to dematerialize. You try to force the outcome or use too much of your own energy to make things happen. Power versus force. Higher states of consciousness, faith that it will manifest. Doesn't mean you don't do anything. You'll still be doing stuff. It's just the energy of where it comes from. You don't feel entitled or you lack imagination. Let's talk about the entitled piece for a moment. I'm not talking about forcing it that it's yours and having this energy that I demand it from like a forceful type of place. Knowing that it's yours, that it is yours, and you realize that your imagination is going to guide you there. So, there's something that you want to materialize. You have a vision. And the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If you begin to force and demand from like a forceful place, the energy that you put out will reflect to you as force and distance between you and the materialization of that what you desire. Actually, a form of dematerialization. Now, if you have your vision and you feel the vibration and you feel good about your vision and you stay in the vibration, you honor it, different things will show up in your imagination. Creative ideas, inspirations, and so forth. And as you feel what shows up in your imagination, you honor that what is in your imagination. You materialize that what is in your imagination, and it bridges the gap from where you are to where you want to be. What you want is not on purpose for your soul, or your soul knows about a future impact of the result that will be harmful for you. So this is the interesting thing. As you go up in frequency, as you go up in vibration, you connect to your soul's desire. These are not surface level, superficial desires. Now here's the interesting thing. You actually really want what your soul wants. What you've been told that you want, this kind of stuff is not going to work. What you were told that you really want isn't what you really want. This is not just about a journey of materializing stuff and creating your desires. It's about the evolution of the soul. It's about where you come from. It's the evolution. It's a gigantic scheme, you could say, divine perfection. It's completely harmonious, in which you will always materialize that what your soul desires. What your soul's desire is going to teach you when you identify what your soul desires, it will reveal to you to cleanse yourself of all that is not you. And if it's going to harm you, that what you desire, these tools are not going to work. That's why it's important to be in the spirit of harmony. But that does not mean that you should sell yourself short, because understand something. What we're really looking for is happiness and abundance materialized. Whatever it is that you want is happiness and abundance materialized. We live in a world of abundance and happiness and joy and bliss to be materialized. So what happens is you will materialize that what is joyous and blissful. But remember this, if it's materialized, or that goal that you want to materialize is in harmony with you, others, and all, that's the soul's desire. And then finally, your mind tries to do more than its share of the work. Overthinking, doubts, fears, and indecisions creep in. And then we get into this process of meddling with things of the materialization. So the question that I get asked a lot is, how do you know when to do something and when not to do? Well, this is where we go back to the whole premise of this conversation. It's about the vibration. How you feel is going to determine what to do and what not to do. Okay, this is a journey, and you can practice it, and you can get better and better at it. Sometimes it's going to require you to do a whole bunch of things, and you're going to joyously do those things, or you're going to find some deep meaning in it, and you're going to learn to find it joyful and so forth. It's going to be different for every soul. Every soul is on a different journey. This is the beautiful reality of the world we live in, is it's so diverse, and each soul is on their own journey, and we can learn from others, but understand something, that we're on our individual journey. But you have to feel your way towards the materialization, and it's based on the vibration. So what you're doing is you're navigating different vibrations till you end up in the vibration that materializes. The story of how it materializes will be very beautiful if you honor the feelings. If you dishonor it, you'll notice all this like negativity and forcefulness show up. And it could be a mixture. That doesn't necessarily mean that the materialization or your destination of getting into that vibration is going to be completely smooth. That's not what I'm saying here. It will be completely smooth if you continuously honor the feelings, of course. I'll speak from that from my experience. But this is a journey of the soul, so we're learning. So we might experience fluctuations in the vibration. So it's like move forward with confidence, you're in flow, you're making things happen, synchronicities, all this stuff's happening. And then all of a sudden some negative thing shows up, you put attention on it, you drop, and all of a sudden you're forceful again. Maybe 5 months go by and then you find that positive vibration or all this other stuff that we're talking about here, and then you get back into it, and then you finally materialize it a year later or 2 years later. And then the conclusion of the mind is, oh, it was that negative plus the positive that brought it here. Now, one of my favorite quotes in the Bible is, as you believe, so it shall be done unto you. So it shall be done unto you means that you will materialize. As you believe will be as you believe. And most of our beliefs come from other people's thinking. So if you believe it's going to be, and that's why Napoleon Hill said, if you believe that money and riches come as a result of hard work alone, perish the thought. Allow your vibration to guide you to the materialization in the right way that's harmonious for you. Trust this process that we're talking about here with something small. That's what Neville Goddard talks about. Try it with something small, and then move on to bigger and bigger things. So I hope you enjoyed this discussion, because I really reflected deep when I came across this book a year ago, because I believe that I materialized this book when I was ready for it, to be able to further understand the concepts and build further upon my own understanding of my own vibration and honoring it, and also to share with you this book and my own insights and perspectives, so that we can kind of create a more diverse spectrum of knowledge, experience, and reference experiences and so forth on the internet, to help others, including you helping yourself, to really grasp this concept of vibration, which I believe is very powerful, which is the essence of a lot of the law of attraction or any kind of manifesting type of information. If you want a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much.